You're Near the Wild with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska.
Awkward sitting in the driveway with it.
Is your car running?
Oh, no, I have to take it in and then I'm going to get a rental for the week and then have them fix it and then I'll be back on the road. It's weird not having a car. I don't know how you do it.
I do it all the time. You get used to it.
Yeah, no, I'm not that guy.
You just stay home a lot.
Yeah, see, I don't do that. I go out and I get in it and I go, oh, yeah, I can't drive it.
Just sit
You
there.
can drive it. See, that's the problem with the head gasket out. You can actually drive it, but then it spikes the heat. And you run the risk of blowing the engine.
Yep.
Which is a lot more expensive.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So there's just that. It's like dieting. Ooh, that's
a little bit
good, but don't eat it.
Just drive like 3 blocks at a time and pull over for half an hour.
That's what I was doing.
Hey, guys.
But it's weird. I realized.
Hey, Ggreg, Chaille.
Oh, Ggreg, Chaille.
No, keep going. Click and clack.
Okay, here's the thing.
A little Anchorage car talk.
With a Toyota Previa, you can just run that thing for 500,000 miles.
With a Subaru, you can get to another Subaru in this town.
This is true.
That's how fast my car overheats. Because there's Subarus everywhere. We look like a softball tournament.
We are a Subaru-rich country that's there everywhere.
I think
Alaska
per capita probably has more. Well, maybe Portland or Seattle, but the Subarus are good because they got the all-wheel drive.
Yeah, and I think we're the number one Subaru dealer in the world.
Dealer.
And we have the most diverse drivers.
They have to be more expensive. They have to be way more expensive here because even like a 1990 Subaru Legacy will go for like $5,000 on Craigslist.
Yeah, no, and that was because immediately when your head gasket goes out, you go, well, I'm not, but maybe I'll just get a different car. And I went on and they had a 2001, they wanted 7,000 for. And he goes, it's only got 158,000 miles. Low for a Subaru, he said.
Low for a Subaru.
And he goes, new head gasket. And I went, well, I saved money right there.
Yeah.
Next, when I sell a car on Craigslist, I'm going to just say, 250,000 miles is low for a horse. If you're comparing this to a horse, that's not a lot of miles.
When your horse goes bad, you can eat it.
It's true.
I don't have a car right now. I just use there's 5 cars laying around here in Bisbee. But I do remember those days when one head gasket or maybe something like the alternator goes out where you're considering dumping the car. Like at one time it was like very few things and I would dump the car that I had. I had an old Datsun 510. And as long as it got to the beach and back, then that was fine. But there were times when it was like, well, what's a water pump cost? And then just leave it at the side of the road if I couldn't figure out how to get the money together for a water pump and labor.
What happens when you just leave your car on the side of the road? Because I've had a lot of cars that if like an alternator goes out, it's not worth the $100, but I've always just sold it. But
no, what they do is they impound it and then they put huge fees on it. That's why it's always important when you get a crappy car not to register it in your name.
I had a.
Because then they
go ahead.
Yeah, well, that's when the city then takes it and they put a fee on it and then the impound, then they sell it at auction and then you pay the difference between the impound fee and that. So when you get hit like a year later, they go, yeah, you had an impounded car you never picked up and you owe us now $3,800. And you go, I didn't want to fix a $200 water pump. So what made you think I had $3,800? So always take the plates and report it stolen.
Well, I had, when we were playing in Alaska quite a bit back in 93, 94, we did gigs at Anchorage, but then we also had gigs in Homer and Kenai and Soldotna, Juneau too. We wouldn't drive to that one, so I had to buy a couple of vans, and I got one from Sal, the old sound guy, the previous sound guy at Chilcoots. It was a 1974 Dodge van, and the other one I bought 10 minutes before we had to get on the road to go to Soldotna. So I didn't really know too much history on the car. And we just loaded our stuff and we drove it. I drove it, I think, for 2 summers and really didn't have many problems, oil change here and there, tune up, whatever. And then I parked it at Coots and I let it sit there for a year on one of the lots, one of the houses that next to the band house. And then one day I went to go start it after a year and a half and, it just wouldn't go. There was nothing. I lifted up the hood.
You got ripped off.
The engine had been taken apart. And I mean, not only the battery gone, but I mean, the whole top end of the engine was gone. I'm like, what the fuck? And this is like right next to the parking lot. This is like across the street is the main office for Coots. There's cameras everywhere. So I asked Duran, I go, hey, could you ask around maybe if anyone saw anything? And almost immediately called me back. He goes, yeah, the band that was over there, they went out one night and there was a guy taking it apart and they actually loaned him some tools. They thought the guy just popped the hood and just started pick apart and ran into like someone who was staying at the band house. And the band house was like, hey, you want me to turn the porch light for you? Yeah, we got some screwdrivers in here. And, basically assisted in fucking taking that thing apart. And I go, Duran, like, I don't want it. What the fuck? And I'm leaving soon. What do you want to do? He goes, I'll just report it as abandoned on property. And that was it. No fixing nothing. No calling to get it towed.
I like the idea of a guy just like ripping out stuff with his hands and everyone being like, oh, this guy could use some tools. Clearly he's here to work on his car, but has no tools.
I just like the term abandoned.
Yeah.
Like the band was involved and now they're not. And now it's yours. Take your stickers off the bumper and we're out.
Well, that was a gray Sportsman, man. I think that was a Chevy, but it was
like a minivan.
It was called the Ggreg
18 passenger.
No, it's actually a plumber was using it. We picked it up at his trailer somewhere in Muldoon, and it was getting late, and he just said, "Okay, you got to get all the tools and stuff out of there." So we had to like just throw all this shit off onto his porch. And then we had these, it was like, it was a work van. It was drywall and fucking pipes and just fittings and stuff like that. And, we were late for the gig as it was. But I've never abandoned a vehicle. That one was kind of made to be, abandoned. I mean,
but like just the idea that the thieves now have, cause that's the thing when they teach them things in prison now. They go, you should learn a skill and you won't be such a bad criminal. He goes, yeah, don't steal the whole van. Just take the head block. I don't even think that's a crime.
Hey, easy. We can salvage that gasket. Well, have you ever abandoned a car?
I did in Wyoming. I dropped a whatever. I gotta look it up again. I was just telling somebody about it, but it was the whatever car, like a Galaxy. It had the push button transmission. It's like above the stereo. 1, 2, 3, 4, and reverse.
So you'd push the button
like
to
on
advance?
The stereo to change.
That would
weird.
Oh wow!
And I took this because I'm a genius. I took this on the road, and I got to Rock Springs, Wyoming.
Where did you start?
I started in St. Louis.
All right.
And I had gone through Iowa, visited the family, and then I said, "Oh, Rock Springs, I can be there." And I'm driving this car, and it's got all the chrome, everything, and it's in great shape. And I for $600, and had a title. It was amazing. And I get to Rock Springs, and right as I'm leaving Rock Springs, lights go dim, everything goes out. It blew the engine because there was oil all over the road. And I pull over, and I'm sleeping in the car, and a cop pulls over, and he goes, "There's a bunch of oil on the road. Let me guess that wasn't you." And I'm going, "Yeah, my car broke down." He goes, "Well, I was hoping you didn't dump it." Like I pulled over, dumped oil out of my car. And then I realized what I'm working with.
He thought you were in one of those wacky races and you had to dump a bunch of oil to make a bunch of cars spin out behind you.
Yeah.
It's a mad world.
Yeah. So he goes, "I can call you a tow truck." And I said, "Well, make sure it's AAA." And he goes, "Oh, okay." Cause I had AAA plus. So he tows me back to Rock Springs. Well, I get to Rock Springs, go to the hotel we stayed at, which by this Indian man named Patel, which I think there's a few of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, I tell him my problems and he goes, "Oh, okay, you can use my phone, but you could not leave the car here. You cannot leave the car here." He kept saying that. And I go, "I'm not going to leave the car here." And, so I called it and they said, "Well," the mechanic in town goes, "Well, we can have it done in 2 weeks, but we got to ship up an engine from, Utah, Salt Lake. And the freight on that's going to be $200. And I think it's $900 for the engine. And we got to rebuild it." And then and as he's talking, I'm just glassy eyed going, "How am I getting out of Rock Springs? They have no bus system. They have nothing." So I hang up with him and said, "Okay, I'll think about it," knowing I wasn't. And I called, 911 and I said, they go, "What's your emergency?" I go, "Well, I'm your newest homeless guy in Rock Springs. How can I get out of Rock Springs?" No, because I had no way to go. I needed to get to Minneapolis.
Yeah, but
Is that what people did before? Is that what people did before the internet? They just called 911?
They had no bus system, no car rental, no anything. I said, "I think this is how you live in Rock Springs." Did you break down?
I think John's thinking the same thing I am. Was there not an information line for the city hall that you could go to? You had to 911 was your first guess?
Hello, what is your emergency? I'm stuck in your fucking town. That is the emergency.
I didn't say fucking, but I used that term. I said, I'm your newest homeless guy. How do you get out of this town? And after about him and Han, and she goes, she goes, this doesn't sound like an emergency for 911. I go, it is if you're in Rock Springs. And,
and
she laughed a little bit. She came back and said, okay, here's the deal. There's a free shuttle bus that takes people to whatever the big Casper or whatever. And it goes through Rock Springs, but it's for handicapped people. But it is free, but you aren't technically allowed to be on it. But there is a chance you could get on it if you're ready at noon at the hotel. I happen to be at the hotel, but it was to transport people for medical. And I get on this full-size bus with all severely handicapped people. And the guy is like, hey, how's it going? I go, good. And he talked to me the whole way because apparently none of the other people could talk. And at the end, I go, how do you want money? He goes, I can't really charge it. It's a free service. And I said, I'm not really handicapped. And so I gave him like $20 and I got out in there and then took another bus to Minneapolis. So I didn't die. And but yeah, that was how I left. I left the car. I just pulled the plates and pulled the stereo and I left. And I always wondered later if that Patel guy didn't fix it up and resell it for a huge fortune.
Patel probably called 911 as soon as you left and was like, I have an emergency. Some guy just abandoned his car at my hotel.
If you could have saw that part, whatever you do, you're not leaving that car in my parking lot. I don't know. I wouldn't do that. It's a classic car. I would never leave it. How can I get out of this town? It was a reverse robbery. I left something. I didn't.
What could be car abandonment? I guess might be a charge, or littering, right?
But again, the car wasn't registered by name and a healthy reason. But why would you take a classic car like that and drive it to the middle of nowhere?
To get rid of it?
Cool.
To be young again.
I've never abandoned a car, but I have, I had a Ford Taurus that through family friend, it was given to me, but I didn't want it. And so I sold it immediately. But then I forgot to, after you sell a car, you have to send the change of title thing. I never sent that in. So it occurred to me a year, I found it in a box in my room when I was moving out of my apartment. And I was like, I hope the guys that bought that from me don't end up, hitting somebody.
Well,
abandoning it.
What on the bottom of the title, it has a thing that says the seller and you're supposed to send that in, but they have to register it in 30 days. You sign the bottom. So always sign the bottom. Don't ever let anyone tell you not to, but at the bottom it says transferred from me to them and they have 30 days to do this. And that gets rid of liability. So always sign the bottom.
But then you just keep it forever? Do you have to send it to somebody?
You're supposed to send your in and they send theirs in and I'm sure somebody compares it.
If there's more, so I can do the first step. I can sign it. But then mailing it, that involves getting postage, going to the post office. I can't.
Cannot be bothered.
Yeah,
I'm physically unable to go to the post office.
I'm curious how many times. Yeah, they never get the other end back. I bet if you sent it back, it'd be amazing. They'd be like, some guy just sent back the bottom. We got rid of the file cabinet 2 years ago.
Where's Jenny? She's been here for 35 years. She's seen this before. We'll ask Jenny.
I just realized as you were telling that story, John, that this is something in play for me right now. Because when I left Alaska 2 years ago, I didn't have time to sell I had a GMC Jimmy, and I left it with a buddy in Anchorage who assured me that he would get rid of it. I hated leaving it, and I just said, you know what, you can have the money if you sell it. That's fine with me. And then it was a month before it was going to have to be registered. I went ahead and registered it up until when I was leaving, and I figured he'd be able to sell it in no time. But I signed the title and everything over to him to be able to sell it, and that car was sold for in an installment plan to someone at Coots, a new hire at Coots, and you can, Becker, you know how these end up.
Yeah.
Always the same. The gear or the vehicle is gone because the employee didn't work out, and that is the last that I know of the GMC
last
Jimmy.
Payment of that plan.
No payment, never a payment.
Well, the payments were contingent on the job working out, and since the job didn't work out, the contract is null and void.
He kept his bonus, his signing bonus.
To me, those things were mutually exclusive. I don't see how the one depended on the other. Although, having the job does help with paying the installment and having a good feeling about someone. That goes a long way.
But to be honest, Greg, once
wow,
I have a car, my job openings are now a lot broader. Now
yeah.
I don't need you anymore.
I don't need this fucking job anymore. I got a car and extra spending money. I just realized that happened to me again back in when I left in 96.
Oh, wow, you got to move back up here.
I just realized that after I moved in 96, I was getting ready to move and I had to get rid of this PA system. It was a 3-way JBL two speaker enclosures, really nice. And I picked them up at a club down in Kenai that was going out of business, but I paid for them. And there was a guy I knew that said, hey, I could probably sell this for you, or I'll buy them on time if I can't sell them. And then he ended up joining the Hells Angels. And then that's when you don't go looking for your stuff. when someone's now a pledge for the Hells Angels. But I did come up with with a really good rule of thumb. When you leave Alaska, anything you leave behind, you're leaving in Alaska.
That applies to jobs, cars, and girlfriends. Yeah. It's pretty much gone.
Yeah. It's gone. So, I mean, it's not even cooled. It's been picked up and moved.
They've removed the top part.
Yeah.
I think joining the Hells Angels that's a good move if you don't want people to ask about their stuff again. Yeah,
things smooth out when you've got the pledge jacket.
Like, oh yeah, your PA system is here at this biker bar. We're all high on meth. Why don't you come pick up your stuff?
Actually, we need some more gear. Why don't you come by with some of your stuff?
We're having a garage sale if you want it back. Oh, I was going to say that, it's been, last week we were in the throes of summer. John will attest to this.
Yeah.
I have a picture from Friday of last week and it's all green in the backyard and I'm debating if I have to mow some more. And by this Friday, the leaves have changed. They're falling off the tree. The bears, I believe, are sleeping now. There was one more mauling, but yeah, it's over. Summer is over.
I'm sweating slightly less than I was. So it's definitely getting cooler out there.
Is that like the groundhog seeing his shadow?
Yeah, when
John's sweating less.
My pit stains in my shirts shrink a little bit.
Yeah, but it turned quick. I mean, it looks like fall.
And fall's my favorite season. It's too bad it only lasts like a week and a half here because it's gonna dump snow soon.
Oh, you think?
I think so.
Yeah, and I predicted real winter, and everyone's like, no, but some guy on the internet told me, the same guy who told you Alaska's good retirement city. I mean, no one understands the internet's all paid for by traffic of the internet. When we make the worst city to live in, it's because they don't fly here. I mean, it's a travel group you've never heard of.
Yeah.
Moms who like to travel say Anchorage is stinky, and I go, yeah, they're all based out of Connecticut, you jackass. Well, when you're being duped is what I'm trying to tell people.
Well, and just about every single list and article on the internet is written by people who are getting paid like $25 for their work. So there's not a lot of research put into any of those like lists of like best dressed cities or like best nightlife. So whenever Anchorage like makes like a list of like 10 best places to get a gin and tonic in the world, and it's like, oh, it's just. The research is always sketchy.
Yeah, and that's it. No,
the Beefeater Room in Anchorage, Alaska, or something like Tanqueray Tropicalis in Juneau. What? They're the best. Gin and tonic, as far as I know, is gin, tonic water, ice, and a lime. How do you make the fucking best?
That's where a lot of people get it wrong, though, Greg.
I like it when you get like the farthest north fish taco and we take third. I'm like, really? Who beat us?
Well, that would probably be, where is a restaurant north of you? I mean, there's Fairbanks, right?
Well, ever since the, that Mexican restaurant in Barrow burnt down, I'm sure there's some Mexican restaurant in Scandinavia that is, kicking the shit out of us.
Yeah. And they're going to rebuild, but I don't know that they have. I don't know. It was such a classic icon. They said it was the best Mexican food in Barrow.
Were they going to use the insurance scam money to rebuild?
Well, they did, but they built it in Hawaii. I thought that was weird. That did look a little scammy. We decided Barrow wasn't our best location.
Sales are up, though.
Oh, yeah.
Well, out here in Bisbee, Arizona, you guys being both in Alaska, we have a different way of tracking as the summer kind of dithers away and we start getting into a warm, I guess, because it's been rainy, right? But now we've got every 3 weeks a different kind of pest bug that will plague you, and then all of a sudden it's gone like they were never there. And
Bug of the week.
Bug of the week. We're just on when caterpillars attack, because they hang down from a silk that from a tree or from from the roof or something like that, and you walk out to get the paper or the mail, and you're it's all in your face, and you're flat, you're waving your hands to try and get away from all these spider webs or these caterpillar webs, and just found out that there's something even more magical about these caterpillars. They have a fine hair on them that at the very least will feel like fiberglass on your skin, but will develop into a large, ever-growing rash for a couple of days. And it's horrible. And
I'm sending you my new Kickstarter. It's a mini flamethrower.
There's a reason that I just learned about all this stuff. It's a tussock moth. There's hundreds of varieties. They're urticating hairs, which is something very similar to like a stinging nettle. It's a defense mechanism. It's because Tracey was sleeping and in the middle of the night jumped up out of bed. And I thought, what the hell was that? And then what she had done was she grabbed her neck because something was crawling on it and rubbed across it as if to brush it away, and basically scraped those urticating hairs, those little pieces of fiberglass into her neck. And it has it's gone down now. It's 4 days now, but it had a huge large grapefruit size area patch on her neck of just this huge and painful rash. So,
but what a great Halloween prank!
It'd be great for Halloween. We're just a couple of weeks off.
Drop them in kids' bags. They reach in there. Bam! Happy Halloween!
Nature is magical.
They're all. I mean, I've been walking and I do this kind of hand out in front of me in a circle motion when I go through the backyard just to catch all the spider webs with my hand rather than my lips. And never even thought to look at what these things were. They're everywhere. And I just looked them up today so I could tell you guys what was making Tracey break out.
What do? Do you just burn the house down? Like, how do you combat these?
No, they're not inside the house. I don't know how this one got in, but it could have come in just by, grabbing onto a shoe or something like that. But I mean, not that you're laying around long enough for the caterpillar to crawl all over you. But, there's just so many of them and they're right there at the back door and stuff. But, like I said, in 3 weeks, then you forget they were even there because you're moving on to something else, like no-see-ums or little gnats or something.
Think about how hard that caterpillar had to work to attack Tracey.
Yeah, this was premeditated.
This was weeks of planning.
What color are these caterpillars?
Oh, I'll show you.
Go to the little in the corner of the screen. There's a little talk bubble thing. And then you can send the link. It's no.
Let's see. I'll put the link in there. I'll find it. They're beautiful, but dangerous.
Yeah, no, but I wondered if they're attracted to orange.
Hey, Tracey, look at the way you dress. You're asking for it.
Yeah, you look like the male caterpillar here, lady. Running around in your stackers and your orange hair. What do you expect? It's the way she was dressed. She's not a victim.
Yeah, she was a trooper, but yeah, it sucked, man. Yeah, they're amazing looking, but
I am dying with anticipation.
Because now I need to know what they look like too. We might have an outbreak too, John.
My imagination is running wild.
You might get something from just looking at these, so that's not my fault. It's not on me now.
Our bugs have pretty much they're dying out. They've hit their widowmaker, and we had an epidemic of fruit flies this year though, and they think it was from the produce they brought up from the lower 48 or Guam. Well, they said it was abnormally a lot, and I know that because I bought bananas and I couldn't get through the entire bunch of bananas before Becky said, "These bananas are not staying in the house."
I didn't feel like it was worse. I feel like at least in my house, we had fruit flies, but not like, I don't. I've definitely had worse.
Well, see, when I had a pet praying mantis, I could feed the fruit flies to the praying mantis, so I had a plan. But now I just have to kill them, and you can't kill them with that shocking wand I have because they're too small. They go through it.
Yeah, the amount of praying mantis out here is kind of crazy. I mean, that is one kind of cool thing, is that when the moths are here, so are the praying mantis.
It's a pretty scary looking caterpillar.
Yeah, it says stay away, right?
Yeah, it kind of looks like my eyebrows.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's
place.
got some cross-dresser fake eyelashes on or something out front. But yeah, it's definitely got markings, but part of that hair on that thing is the dangerous stuff.
Does it turn into like a beautiful butterfly?
No. It's a brown. I mean, it's nature, John. It's all beautiful, right? But it's nothing. It's not
dangerous.
like a monarch. It's not a monarch or something.
Most of nature will just give you a rash.
It's going to turn out looking like Bisbee, so if that gives you an indicator of where we're headed.
The Bisbee Travel Bureau just released a list, and Bisbee was number one. The most beautiful place to visit. So
yes.
Yeah. Oh, do you see what they're doing in Canada? You should try this in Bisbee. I thought it was brilliant. They take their currency and they cut it in half, and they honor it all around the local businesses.
What?
When you bring in half. So in other words, you cut a 20 in half, it's a 10. And if you cut a 5 in half, it's $2.50.
No.
But they spend it that way. No, but that way the money can't leave the community because nobody will take it outside the city.
Huh.
Yeah, but why wouldn't you just take a half of a 20 spot over to the next town and spend it there?
Because they won't honor it.
But I feel like I just feel like some store ran out of change.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh no, we'll just cut a 20 in half.
Well, no, I mean, I'm sure at first it started with a guy coming in selling scissors and everybody bought into it. And then they were like, shit.
Well, now we have all these.
We got to pay for these.
We just have a bunch of cut up currency. I guess we have to start using it.
And that guy left town. So you get that money's not coming back.
But
how far can you break it? How far can you break it down though? Can you break?
I don't know.
That improvised 10.
I don't know that you could cut up $1 4 times.
But it's supposed to stay in the community. But then when the business gives it to the bank at the end of the night, they just replace it.
Hey, you're supposed to tape these to cash them. We don't tape them here. What are you supposed to do?
Remember, you have to have 3/4 of a bill before you can get the replacement.
This feels like a plot by 3M Scotch Tape. Mm-hmm. This is how they're trying to drive sales.
Well, I just thought it was a brilliant idea, as opposed to a place in Texas where they made their own currency and started using it.
Yeah, that was called the South, wasn't it?
The federal government said, yeah, that doesn't work. You can't do that. Oh, and did you see the biggest story? My favorite, 9/11. We made it through another 9/11. I don't believe there were any incidents. But did you see the opening story in the morning of 9/11?
No.
In Mecca, I don't know if you know where Mecca is, but everyone has their own Mecca. But this is real Mecca where the Muslims go to pray because Ramadan started. So on 9/11 morning, you open up the paper and it says, crane collapses in Mecca, killing early worshipers. And if you know about American history, we kind of root for the Muslims to get hurt on 9/11.
Do we?
I do.
That's an organized thing?
I don't know. I got a feeling it's kind of like building a wall. We're all for it as long as we don't talk about it.
They're like ribbons that you can wear to. I guess they changed it now to a crooked crane.
But they wanted to know, was it sabotage? And it turns out it was just poor zoning. And but they're rebuilding Mecca, and they're redesigning it and doing all the new tile. It's all bright white. Everybody's wearing their prayer clothes, and this crane falls through the roof, and they have a picture of the lightning strike hitting the crane, causing it to go through the roof with heavy rains. And so at that point, you're going, yeah, I'm not a big God-fearing man, but it looked like God killed a bunch of Muslims, is what it looked like on 9/11. And so therefore, we didn't do it. And the other side of it is people think it was because of 9/11 and terrorism, and it wasn't that. It was they were wearing white after Labor Day, and God hates that. He despises that. He's a fashion guru.
So basically, it was a retaliation to not following the fashion rules of Mr. Blackstone, or whatever that guy's name is.
That is correct.
Maxwell?
I think you're 100%.
What was that guy's name? Blackwell?
Blackwell, yeah.
Yeah.
Blackwell's list of best dressed, yeah. He died. They buried him in a fur slippers and a robe.
Was that on 9/11? I think that was the day after.
No, it was 9/11. You just read the news a little later than you should for a guy in the news.
Well, it still counts, John.
I mean-
Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's all one news day. That's when they bury stuff.
It was
on a Friday.
definitely on Saturday.
It was on 9/11.
All right. I mean, or 12.
No, look it up.
Listen,
You want the timestamp?
I'm not trying to ruin your theory of
It's
God
not a
striking.
theory. It was on 9/11. Because I needed to come up with something to talk about on 9/11 other than 9/11, and that was it. So I couldn't have talked about it on Saturday if it happened on Friday.
And these reporters start asking questions, Becker. You see what happens?
I know.
No, but it's a fact. You can't change a fact, John. You're a generation of kids who like to alter things. You can't alter it. You can't flip the picture
I know,
5 minutes later.
I mean, I agree. This is sloppy reporting. CNN is not even saying how many of these Muslims hijacked the planes. Like, so.
Well, the real problem they're having with that crane accident is the numbers kept changing. It went to 107, then saw it was 67. Now it was back to 100. I'm like, I mean, come on. It's Ramadan. You know how many people RSVP'd?
Well, you can't trust a Facebook RSVP.
No. Everyone says they're going.
Nobody shows up.
Yeah. Although I think that Mecca, that area, I think that area that they were, that the worshipers were gathering, they expect to see millions there.
Yeah.
It's insane.
But I went to the Cabo Mecca, and I'll tell you, it was a hoot.
Is that the one that
All inclusive.
yeah, it's all inclusive, but does what's his name? Fuck, Sammy Hagar have anything to do with that one?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is there a Cabo tequila stand inside?
Cabo.
Non-alcoholic tequila, but yeah, it's good.
Cabo. Wait, you think you went to Cabo Mecca, or did you go to Cabo Wabo?
Cabo Wabos, and they have that strip club, the Holy Horse. Yeah, it's fantastic. They full nude, but burkas. It was weird.
She's nude under the burqa, I swear.
Yeah, completely nothing on.
Here's half of a 20 in Canadian.
I'm getting half a song. Do you realize now the girl who's dancing at a strip club makes $20 a song and the artist still makes nothing? Does that bother you at all? I would dance to my own songs. You'll make more than Spotify.
Well, if 700,000 strippers all dance to the same song, that will pretty much like pay for like one album. So it's a fair deal. It's a fair shake.
Yeah, I just don't get how I don't know how artists agreed to like Spotify and everything. Prince just pulled everything off, so you can't find Prince anywhere now. You have to actually go to his show. How weird.
Well, he also he released a CD. Prince released a CD, and then had a big concert and told everybody, you know, with your ticket to the concert, you get a free album. Like, you get my new album for free. And it was a free concert, and they charged for the album. And that's how it became a gold record. Like, it became the best-selling album of the week because it was everybody.
Ticket sales were actually purchased units.
Yeah. So
Wow.
I don't think any musicians actually make any money from their recordings anymore. I think it's all shows. It has to be. Maybe Taylor Swift.
No, she's making plenty of money on merch and shows. I mean, that's how her music gets out there. I mean, it moves around the country in 20 semis and puts on these shows. Have you been to a Taylor Swift show, John?
No, I have not.
It seems like
maybe in 25 years when she's playing the Alaska State Fair.
Why would you say 25?
It's just I don't know. That was just it could be 35. I don't know what her staying power is.
I'd say 6 years she's at Salmon Stock. She's not even headlining.
I think Taylor Swift, I think she's going to be around for a while. She went from country to pop music, and next is going to be I don't know, metal, black metal,
light jazz,
beatbox,
acid jazz.
Well, I did see a pretty good clip the other day, and I know both of you guys are fans of Prince, as am I. And it was a benefit for George Harrison from the Beatles, and it was Tom Petty, Jeff Lynne, and George Harrison's son, and then other people back there, and they were doing "While My Guitar Gently Weeps," and then Sir Prince comes out and fucking nails the solo. I will put a link up for this because it is that fucking good.
I like that. I like that you just knighted him too.
Yeah, I was trying to think, how do you make someone sound more regal than Prince? Sir Prince. But definitely worth it, man. Fuck. I mean, I usually look at a video clip, and as soon as I'm waiting for it to load, I'll look and see how long it is. And if it's over 2 minutes, then sometimes I'll just bail at that point. It's usually like a lot of time building up to something. Like there was a guy who had a refrigerator that he put a launcher, a beer launcher on it, and he's got an app that you get to like he started off really good. It's his video, and you see the beer launcher in the back, like further off in the distance, and his phone has the app open, and it's right there in the foreground. And you're like, oh wow, he can pick 3 beers, and then there's a camera on the launcher that takes the perspective of the machine, and you can see, kind of line it up to where you're at in the room, and then he keeps moving it, like, to show how fucking clever he is, back and forth. It's like, you've established that the machine is moving back and forth. He kept going. I never even watched the thing fucking launch. I closed the link. Cause he was setting it up too long that it needs
you missed it. If you would have kept watching for 10 more seconds, Prince would have come out and just started.
He just tears it apart.
And it hits him in the nuts.
Yep.
Yeah. But you can't get it online. So yeah, it's not available.
They show it at his concerts exclusively.
Yep.
The blooper's reel. Prince bloopers.
Yeah, I saw the beer can and everyone sent it to me because they're going, hey, I thought of you. And I'm going, yeah, I don't know if I really want a thing that launches beers at people. I mean, that's kind of my gig.
Now,
that's why
there's a middleman in there that brings you the beer. See, that was me.
Matt, I want to introduce you to your new partner, Launcher 2006. I hope that you guys can get along. This is his first bar, so I want you to show him the ropes here at Coots.
And just tell him everything you do, and if you could just talk in the mic so he can repeat it. And yeah, you could go to Costa Rica as long as you'd like.
Then one night you're just a couple minutes late. You walk in the bar and he's doing card tricks for people, and you're like, "What is this?"
And there's a cuter robot right next to him. You're like, "What the hell's that deal?"
I just want to see that like heartfelt conversation the Launcher 2000 has with you. Like, listen, Matt, you've taught me everything I know.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, you just do the whole movie cocktail.
I couldn't have done it without you.
Hey, unless that thing runs on batteries, I know how Becker's getting rid of his fucking automated beer launcher.
Beer wars.
Yeah.
And I'm tired of people sending me the one with the guys who drink the beer with helium in it. I mean, a funny gag, but it's not real.
Yeah.
So stop embarrassing everyone in the world by saying, hey, where can I get that? Well, you could get your own editing system and have someone do it. It's like, are we that dumb that we really thought helium would maintain a beer and make your voice all high and pitched?
That was like an April Fool's video. I don't think it was even from this year. I think it was last year.
Well, I mean, things go on a cycle.
It is crazy how like videos from like, a couple years ago will pop back up and people are still dumb.
Well, I just saw this kid singing this, it's a Chocolate Rain. And, if you haven't heard, you've got to see. I didn't realize because remember people did parodies of him doing Chocolate.
Well, it was on Tosh.0, so it was fucking huge. They did a web redemption.
Yeah, but then he did his own parodies of him after so many people jumped on and did parodies. It was like, the parody got 14 million hits, so then he does his parody and only gets 8 million hits. I'm like, hey, it's me doing a parody.
YouTube's a brutal place. You got to keep up. Yeah. He should have released his parody right after he released the original video. Got to act fast.
Oh, and great Vine video, by the way, Greg, on Tracy flipping the cork boards.
Oh, the coasters. Yeah.
Yeah, the coasters. That was timed amazing.
I could sit here and say, hey, yeah, that was one take, and everyone could believe me.
I believe you.
Honestly, I looked at Bingo. Tracy was flipping these. John, I don't know if you saw this. It's where you take.
I'm looking for it right now.
You take you take the coasters and balance them just a little bit less than halfway over the edge of the bar. And then you put your hand flat underneath it, palm down. As you lift up quickly, you flip those coasters, a stack of them, in the air and catch them like real quick. Like
I just watched it.
Yeah,
it is great.
Yeah,
the reflexes. I had no idea Tracy had those kind of reflexes.
Yeah, 26. Well, ever since she got bit by the caterpillar, she's just been displaying some incredible powers. There are 26 coasters there, and I guess she was doing that with people at the bar. I guess they sit around and do that. And she did 26, and I said, now listen, if I just say do it once, and I just said, bingo, come over and say you have one try, and I swung down and caught it, and I'm like, I could never fucking do that again. It was we were drunk. That's the best part of it. I had to go look back at it the next day to remember that we did it.
You were having more trouble using the Vine app than Tracey was.
Absolutely. I could not figure out what the fuck was going on.
You could tell she was been drinking, and she was in that Savanti Tracey way, in which she could pick out star galaxies without looking and things like that. And you went, she's in her zone.
Well, I've never seen that with the coasters. I've seen like putting like a stack of quarters on your elbow and then like swinging your arm down and catching them.
That used to be huge.
Where in what circles was that?
No, that was on That's Incredible. You don't know the show because you weren't born yet.
Sarah, was that no, that was Real People with Sarah Purcell.
And
That's
Skip,
Incredible. And that Skip, what's his name? What the fuck was that guy's name? He was the stand-up comic with the kind of buck teeth, like an overbite.
He killed himself too.
Did he really?
Yeah.
But That's Incredible. That had the blonde gal. It had Fran Tarkenton.
Yeah.
And was it John Davidson too? Was he on that one?
Mm-hmm.
And the gal
John Davidson too.
Was the gal's name Kathy something? I'm forcing myself not to fucking Google it. I'm trying to remember. Anyway, That's Incredible was kind of like Real People did the like the stories. They did little packages, whereas That's Incredible actually had like kind of like the flipping the quarters or like like bar room contests and stuff like that. But they also had crazy stuff. Yeah. The guy that would stuff himself into a box, 3 cubic feet, or the tightrope walker.
Yeah, contortionist, everything. Yeah, but they would go after world records.
The record for catching for quarters balanced on elbow and caught is apparently 51 at recordsetter.com, which I'm not sure is a reputable site, but 51.
I think 51. You have to catch them all and not drop them. And so you have to get them in the air. They have to leave your arm, and then you have to catch them and keep them all on your forearm before they fall.
If I had 51 quarters and I said, Becker, hold out your hand, I have to dump all of these in your hand. I think that would be hard. How do you catch 51 quarters as you're swinging down towards your elbow? I have to see this clip.
It's ninja shit.
I'm gonna share the link with you guys.
But balancing 51 quarters on your elbow is amazingly hard.
Yeah.
I wish it were more impressive.
Now, if you have to balance them yourself, do you have to peel the eggs? No. But yeah, you balance. If you have to put them up there yourself, that's 51. I don't know how tall 51 quarters are, but that's got to be up to about.
It doesn't. No, it's not that tall. It's like under a foot.
Wait, is there more than one stack?
No, looks like one stack, and he's like holding it with like a stick or something in the picture.
Maybe he does have to set himself. Yeah, probably sets him with the stick, and then.
How do you set him with a stick?
How many?
You got a stick like you would to rack them.
Oh, I see. Yeah. He'll hold it up vertical, the stick vertical, to try and keep it all lined up.
How many quarters are in a roll of quarters?
$20.
Well, there's $1. There's $10 in a roll of quarters.
I thought it was $20 in a roll.
No, it's 10. So it's
hey, I'll sell you quarters anytime you want.
So it's just slightly more than like 2 rolls of quarters. That's not that much.
No, it's not 2 rolls of quarters.
Oh, it's not even 2 rolls of quarters. I can do 2 rolls of quarters. I'm gonna break this record, guys.
I'm gonna play this real quick. Let me see if I can pick up the audio on this. 3 minutes. See, look at he's catching the fucking quarters off his elbow. 3 minutes and 22 seconds long. The video.
I know. He does it. Well, he does it in slow motion.
Who the fuck cares slow motion? I just want to see him do. Oh, I see what he did.
And then he's excited about it. He's too excited.
Does he trap it with his forearm? Does it go against his body?
He uses the stick like as a tamper. He's holding the quarters steady, and then right when he's ready to go, he lifts the stick off and then swings down. Here it goes. Okay. Hold on.
I don't know. Get the ball. Can you pass me the ball? Over there.
So that's the record.
Yeah. So he caught it, but he's actually, this is very good. He's being very careful. I'm going to stop this so we don't have to listen to him. He's being very careful not to get too jubilant before he can actually count the quarters in his hand in case one fell and hit a cushion or a pillow or something. This looks like a trailer park, but I don't know.
He's a record holder, okay?
I know. I should
Think about it. If you live in a trailer park, you get any kind of record other than a criminal record, you're a winner in that
Actually,
place.
at least he's doing something.
Think about the mansion he lives in now after breaking this record, Greg.
Yeah. They had to show it before, or the after isn't very dramatic, you know?
The sad thing was he had to borrow quarters to do it. These are on loan.
All of his neighbors pitched in.
It's less counting for the record and more we owe people money if I don't find those quarters.
This trick's cost me over $50.
Oh, shit, dude. This says most American quarters balanced on elbow and cot. Are there...
Well, yeah, you get...
Where's Canadian? I want to see the...
No,
Yeah.
English pennies are goddamn a pound apiece.
Oh, yeah.
That's why they're called the pound.
Oh, all right. Record setter. That'll be in the notes. That looks like a good place to fucking waste about 2 hours.
This record has been set. That was set in 2011. This thing is ready to be broken.
Oh, it's
Wow,
fucking
wow.
ripe.
Young kids today with the carpal tunnel from their Xboxes.
Yeah.
They can't do tricks.
There are some people that have had their attempt denied. I'm just confused by how this website is exciting. I don't know how I didn't know about it.
Hold on, guys. Breaking news. A Canadian 6 months ago had put something down in the comments. Tremendous video, though at least one coin is clearly heard falling against the ground. We've denied past submissions for not catching all quarters. Therefore, I think we need to deny this attempt.
Listen, I think
Wow.
Clearly?
Clearly. I mean, we got judges out there from all over the world. The Ukrainian said it was illegal.
Wow, you know what? There are more and more people are jumping on this. It's like clearly you have to catch. There's certain rules with this, and if you put up 51 coins, you have to catch all 51. You can't like have 60 coins and grab at them and 51 in your hand, and then all of a sudden you're the record holder. Somehow these guys, they must have these fucking FBI listening devices.
you know what? This is a goddamn shame. This Canadian, Dan Rollman, is trying to take this away from an American hero, Kevin C. I'm not going to stand for this. Kevin C. didn't drop any quarters. It's ridiculous.
Well, I want to know who's number 2 then. Who's the real record holder, and why is he not getting press?
I'm looking back to see it. Yeah, I mean, this is a valid record at recordsetter.com. So, yeah, so someone, let me guess. D. Rollman might be number 2 from Canada. He's taking quite an interest in, denying, our guy here, Kevin C. from, the Win.
Maybe it's just in the fair trade. I mean, come on. I mean, it's what's the point of trying if you can cheat and still win?
Oh,
the Lance Armstrong are quarter catchers.
Yeah, look right here. It says Kevin C. balanced 51 American quarters on his elbow and caught them with the same hand. It did not say that he balanced a bunch of quarters and caught 51. It says he caught that. Clearly, that's what it's saying to me, is that he caught what he balanced on his arm. And I didn't fucking hear one thing drop.
Maybe it fell off his pocket.
Should have checked the floor first, man.
I like that in related videos. There's also the most American pennies balance. So that's kind of like the minor leagues.
What's that? Balance though. That's just stacking, right?
Yeah, it's
What's
balance.
that? That's gotta be
balance
huge.
on elbow and cost. So it's the same thing, but this guy's using pennies.
Oh, smaller hands.
And he only did 46 of them.
46? We could beat that.
I think we can beat this.
These are like fucking weird records, man. Like tallest dime tower.
Longest penny bookmark.
What is that? What's a penny bookmark?
It looks like just a bookmark made of like pennies glued onto a long strip of material.
No, is that penny squished out where you stretch it?
No, they're just glued.
What's a book? I've never even heard of it.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a lot of records we could beat here, guys.
or like, I wouldn't be afraid to try any of these.
Most J. Crew catalog models mustached in 1 minute. This guy's just going through and drawing mustaches on models and catalog.
That sounds like one I could get behind.
This is the best website.
J. Crew mustaches. That's amazing.
Do they all have to be different mustaches? Like it'll be like one has to be like they have like a number of styles that have to be represented.
It does not say.
Oh.
So he can just do curly cues or Hitler stashes on everybody?
Yeah.
Hitler stashes.
I think he's doing like Tom Selleck mustaches. So
like big feather dusters.
Yeah, you could trim down the mustache into a Hitler stash and really just fly through.
Well, if you did a pencil thin, I would. You could probably just
John
do that.
Waters.
Yeah, you could do the John Waters straight across. You just lift up at the middle of the nose there, that little spot.
Oh, and how many did he do?
63
in a minute.
Yeah, that's less than a second per mustache.
Wow, that is tricky. Did he have them all laid out though? To flip the page.
He's flipping pages. That's another mistake he's making.
Because I would disassemble the magazine and have them all laid out on a table.
Then it's not a magazine.
But it is a magazine. It goes back together.
I'd get a really long wall, and then I'd put them all along the wall, like at the same level, and then I would just run across and drag the pen all the way down the line, like they'd all be connected, but it still counts.
All right, I just took a look, and some of these things are ridiculous. The cheapest purchase made with a credit card. So they have the receipt for like, what is this? A penny. So someone used a penny.
Well, that's
charged a penny onto. Yeah, I mean,
the bank charged me a 3/4 cent for a transaction once.
Yeah, so they get pretty ridiculous.
Most times getting a Mattress World employee to say mattress on a phone call.
Oh, that's pretty good. What's that? 24.
Let's see. It's where does it say? I guess it's only 12 times.
Oh shit. That's fucking junior high school level.
Yeah. Oh, Cameron Diaz. Hollywood's Cameron Diaz even has a record.
Oh yeah, what's hers?
Most bunnies snuggled in a hammock. So
is this site built by Cameron Diaz's agency?
They've
been
featured on the Tonight Show.
Okay, so that's probably what some of these are.
With Jay Leno or with Johnny Carson?
Jimmy Fallon. So whatever they're calling, not Conan O'Brien.
Huh. Very interesting. All right. Well, I think we could break some records. Sounds like.
Let's break some records.
This is crazy. This is really just looking at like things you do when you're fucking bored and you're at home as a kid. Most plastic spoons held in one hand. Fastest recital of the alphabet. Most faces drawn in 1 minute by one person. Most words written in a parking spot. I mean,
this sounds bona fide.
Yeah, I mean, they're all, I'm not going to pick any apart.
I'm just saying, we got to play this week to get records. We should do it.
Yeah.
We're not here to take away accomplishments from anybody.
We're here to break.
Oh, all right. I'm done. I could fall into this thing for, like I said, for an hour or two, just looking at it.
See? Now you want to break a record.
Now that's my record.
Most dumb records judged in under a minute. Ggreg Chaille.
Ggreg Chaille, 37. I heard a record drop in the back.
So I've got a trip coming up this week. TRACEY'S 20-year college reunion
in New Mexico.
In New Mexico, Santa Fe. So we're gonna drive up there. I'm excited because we're gonna get to go through Hatch, New Mexico, and pick up some more chilies. But yeah, I agreed to go. I mean, I've never even gone to one of my reunions. I agreed to go, and I said, yeah, whatever. You just pick. We'll do these things. I guess it's a St. John's in Santa Fe, so they're doing a lot of brainy stuff where they're actually taking classes and seminars. I go, this is not any school I would have gone to. That's their reunion. Usually it's getting drunk and looking at slideshows. I guess I don't fucking know. But then I found out I'm supposed to learn how to waltz.
Man, that sounds.
Yeah,
go to a girls' school.
Yeah, this hit a new level when I had to do something other than drive the car and rent the hotel room.
Yeah, it sounds like you're on the hook for a lot of stuff right now.
I don't remember. I did say, yeah, we'll do the whole thing. I'm not having to go to any of the seminar classes or anything, but the waltz thing I'm a little worried about.
Man, the record for the least amount of fun had in one weekend by a person is Ggreg Chaille.
Yeah, and do you get that? Do you get the peppers on the way through, on the way in, or do you get them on the way out? What if they're out of them when you come back through? Then what?
God.
Then you're an idiot.
Yeah,
but they'll be old. They'll be a week old by the time you get out of there.
Let's think of the silver lining here. What if they have a waltz off and you could win a bunch of Hatch peppers?
That I should probably figure out what the waltz is entailed. Like if there is a waltz off, or if there's some tradition that they do, the Johnnies do.
Yeah, And watch, you're going to have a waltz off with a guy that used to have eyes for Tracy, and it's going to get ugly, and there's going to be a ski off on the mountain, and you are
It's a
going to
John
be
Hughes
standing
movie.
down at the bottom with a big boom box blaring.
Well, we'll see. So I'll have an update next week. What is a waltz? Is that the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? Anyone?
Yeah, that's a waltz.
Yeah.
It's
Is
the
that
one
it?
where they do it all the big weddings and all the formal affairs where they have the long dress and then you have to kick your leg up. Don't kick your leg too high. That's a
Wait, I gotta wear a dress?
no. You won't. You'll just have to try to not step on
Now
a
I'm
dress.
in. Now I'm in.
Are you talking about the chicken dance?
No. That's not a waltz. Or it might be. Maybe that's the time signature for.
Yeah, no, it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But then you throw like an electric slide in the middle to show that you have some style.
Yeah, remember the Nutcracker's a waltz.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to dancing in a I guess a rigid format. I guess that would be easier than come on, Chaille, get out here, get your groove on. Yeah, no, that's why I learned how to play guitar. So we'll see.
Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So you've been taking lessons, or
No, I'm a quick learner.
have you looked it up at all?
No, I guess I should rather than spending time on Record Setter.
Yeah, you might
guess
have
I
directed the worst waltz.
Wait, I'm searching Record Setter for waltz. Let's
Just
see
so
what
Tracy
happens
doesn't show up at a reunion with some jackass with 3 left feet, you know?
Yeah.
Hey, if I want to get out of it, I can just get a caterpillar rash.
She could.
Oh, she's excited. She texted me the other day and she goes, I can't believe it. Can't remember her first name, but it's her friend.
Tracy.
No, her friend's name is Whore. She's all, I can't believe it. Whore's going to be there.
Yeah. If you're not inside on the joke, you're like, really?
The whole family, it's all the husband and the wife. I think they had like 6 kids, all girls, all last name Whore.
Oh wow.
Oh, wow.
I'm excited to meet her. That's gonna be a strong woman going through her whole life being called a whore correctly.
So you're a whore. I've heard a lot about you.
Are you the youngest whore or are you the oldest whore?
Oh, it's gonna be fun. So anything on? I'll look up Waltz. It can't be that hard.
No, I mean you can learn in a couple years.
Maybe I can get a big high collar jacket, roughly.
Just
shirt.
watch old movies. Any of those old movies, they always do it. Like
Yeah.
Rebecca or any of the Hitchcock films, they always do a waltz.
Man in the Iron Mask or the Three Musketeers, the old one.
Walton and half of the Spy versus Spy.
See if you can fake it. Don't even look it up. Just get out there and just do what everyone else is doing. You'll
Just
be fine.
flex my street smarts. Adapt or die.
Copycat. Do it like you do when you watch Jeopardy. Just yell out what the guy says right after.
Or right with it.
Brazil.
See, I said that.
You know, my girlfriend has a dance studio and a dance company and is, she likes dancing, obviously. So I have to do a lot more dancing than I'm comfortable doing.
Yeah, but
no, she never taught me anything. She just, just have like 4 or 5 drinks and just look around and do what other people are doing. Not the person right next to you. Like choose somebody that's like at least like 3 or 4 people away from you and do what that person does.
Yeah, but John, the whole room, if I remember my waltzes, the whole room moves in unison with the in concert, so to speak, as they're dancing, right?
Oh, so you'll have like a rough beginning.
Yeah.
Then you'll see what everyone's doing, and they'll just be like, "Oh, he thought we were tangoing. Obviously, we're waltzing right now."
Oh my word! Look at the boy that Tracy brought. He's doing a tango, and it's clearly a waltz.
Look at some of those moves he has. They're not from around here.
What's that rash on his neck?
He's doing the caterpillar. Wow, that's exciting. So, that's fun. So how long are you in New Mexico then?
Like 3 days, 4 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
It's nice. Watch your speed.
Yeah, I know. I've been told that by
That's
3
a huge
people.
place for speeding tickets.
In fact, because Floyd just went up there. He was on his way to Denver and he passed through Hatch, New Mexico, and he said that there's a spot where you turn off the main road. It's an hour quicker, but there's at least 3 speed traps along that one stretch of road. And I forgot what fucking road he was even talking about. I should have paid closer.
Well, you'll remember it when you get pulled over.
Yeah, I'll remember. Oh, I remember this place now. But yeah, there's I've been told that by a couple people that driving in New Mexico is definitely want to watch.
Oh,
watch
that's
your
how you
speed
do
on
the
the
joke.
highways.
It's a land of entrapment. Yeah. That was a long hanging note. No, I think we had no big pump from the city after the Obama visit, but other than that, we're hanging in there, and oil prices appear they might go to $40 a barrel, which will be devastating.
Wow.
Oh yeah. Well, I think we'll bounce back.
Well, I just had a friend bring me Canadian money. He's from Canada, and he had Canadian money, and he said, "Can I use it?" And I said, "Sure," because as far as I know, you have a better system than we
Was it
do.
all cut in half?
No, it wasn't. But here's the thing I didn't know about. They changed over their money. Did you know this? It's
No.
all plastic.
Oh yeah.
It's plastic, like dryer plastic, but real. And then it's got a clear hole in it, a big swoop in the middle that's clear. You can see through it.
Yep.
And get this, so we know Pete Ettinger from the band. He said, "Matt, I'm going to bring you a $100 bill next time I come in. The $100 bill, get this, from Canada, is made of plastic, and if you take it and you roll it between your hands, it smells like maple syrup. If it does not, it is a forgery, and the banks won't take it."
Get out of here.
I
Fuck
swear to
no.
God. I swear to God, he's not fucking around.
They have scratch and sniff money. That's the best.
Yeah, but their money is plastic. And do you realize we buy all our trees from Canada because we don't cut ours down? Clearly, by the fires we have in California, we are good. But we take their trees and make our money, and now they're using their petroleum they can't sell through the Exxon pipeline and making it into money. This is getting to be a weird system we have.
Every American $100 bill I ever smelled like cocaine.
Yeah, well, it's because it was so close to it while you were using it. But is that funny? It smells like maple syrup. So I'm going to get a $100 bill and we're going to test it. But just the most expensive pancakes. I got a new record.
I just looked it up. It also melts in the heat. So be careful.
But great on waffles.
They're making sure you only spend it in Canada. If you take it any further south, it's too warm. It'll melt.
Yeah, it's too warm.
I said, does the 50 smell like bacon? Because you can,
You can really make a meal here.
Notice Tim Hortons doing so well. Every time he gets some money, he want to go have breakfast. Subliminal bastards. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Near the Wild. I'm Matt Becker, sitting on a bus on a rainy day in Alaska.
I'm John Norris, cutting up all my Canadian currency.
Ggreg Chaille in Bisbee, Arizona, avoiding the caterpillars. You've been listening to the Near the Wild podcast with Matt Becker and John Norris, recorded in Anchorage, Alaska on Matt Becker's backyard bus. Engineered by me, Ggreg Chaille. What do we do with this? There's no form. I've never had this.